Welcome to the Bommala Koluvu of the Nishtalas for the year 2025. As always, we take a lot of joy, pride, and pleasure in putting our Bommala Koluvu together. And so, here is a short video of what we have for you this year. As always, we have here the 7 steps arrangement where various gods and goddesses are on display. But in particular, I would like to draw your attention to our new edition, which is the Vishwarupam of Lord Krishna. It comes in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and as you can see, it's been grandly represented here by this amazing depiction. And here is Arjuna, who's drinking in all the beauty of the Lord. 3 people saw the Vishwarupam at that time in human form. One was, of course, Arjuna himself. The second was Sanjaya, who was granted divine vision by Lord Krishna himself. And the third, don't forget, was Chiranjeevi Hanuman, who was there on the flagpole of Arjuna's chariot. And the reaction on Arjuna was that his hair stood on its end. He was amazed, but at the same time he was also terrified. And that is the Vishwarupam, which contains all the beings of the past, the present, as well as all the beings of the future. And that's why it's called as a universal form. It encompasses animals, birds, human beings, gods, demons, yakshas, kinnaras, gandharvas, and so on. It's a little different from the Virat Rupam, and somebody asked me what's the difference between the two. The Virat Rupam is the powerful form of Lord Krishna, which he had displayed to the Kauravas when he had gone there for trying to mediate between them and the Pandavas just before the war. And when the Kauravas tried to imprison him, that is when he showed them the Virat Rupam, which is his very powerful form. So that's something that we wanted to particularly highlight to you. The other aspect which we wanted to highlight also was that in this step, as we normally elaborate, we have everything that a householder wants. So here are me and my wife. That's what these 2 dolls here represent. And this time we have an addition of the other couple in our family, a son and daughter-in-law, who's like a daughter to us. And then here we have our daughter, and along with that various other things which we would like to have, which includes food grains and other material possessions. We also have put up various other displays, grand scenes from the Puranas and the stories of Hinduism, including from the Ramayana, which you can see here, and some from Krishna's Leelas, and some from the Mahabharata, and so on. And right on top there are the Dashavataras, the 10 avatars of Vishnu. Let me now take you to what is perhaps another very grand addition to our Bommala Koluvu this year, and that is Devi, the divine goddess. And as you can see, she's sitting there on a golden throne, looking on with a very calm and serene gaze, and she's blessing all of us, society, the community, and humanity at large. And let's all pay homage to the divine goddess. Every year, as is customary, we have a theme, and so it is this year also. our theme is Tulasi, and that's what is very nicely displayed here. As you can see, the structure itself is in the form of Tulasi Kota, and we have put up various doll displays which I will take you through just now. Tulasi is represented even through shlokas in the Puranas, and in the Padma Purana it is referred to as through this shloka which says Tulasi Prana Rupascha Vishnu Priya Sakhi Sada. That means Tulasi is the very form of prana, the vital force, and she is forever the beloved companion of Lord Vishnu. In the Agni Purana, Tulasi is referred to in this shloka where it says Tulasi Vilaye Naiva Chakram Sancharate Hare Tulasi Vihina Puja Nishphala Parikirtita, which means that Tulasi is the energy that moves the Sudarshana Chakra of Lord Vishnu, and any puja that is done without Tulasi is actually of no use. The origin of Tulasi is a delightful story, and that's what we have represented here. So, at one point in time, we had a fierce battle between Shiva and Indra, each trying to determine who was the better of the two. And the battle raged very fiercely, and in the course of the battle, and by virtue of the anger of Lord Shiva, from his third eye, actually the anger spilt over and fell into the sea, and from that was born a fierce demon called Jalandhara, whom you can see here. Jalandhara went on to become a very powerful Rakshasa who was married to a very pious and chaste lady called Vrinda. And Vrinda's chastity was like a very invincible armor for Jalandhara, and so no weapons, including divine weapons, could ever touch him. And all this went into his head, and once he even went on to challenge Shiva to a battle and said that he would take Parvati as his wife. In the fierce battle that ensued, it was inconclusive, and that is how, in order to bring the battle to a conclusion, Vishnu went in the form of Jalandhara to Tulasi, to Vrinda, and she, thinking that it was Jalandhara, actually touched him, and that is when the shield of her chastity was broken, and Jalandhara was then killed by Indra. Once Vrinda came to know about it, she was very furious, and she cursed Vishnu to become a stone, and that stone is called the Shaligrama, and she herself jumped into the fire and was burnt to ashes. Vishnu was so moved by her devotion that he blessed her and said that she would become a plant called Tulasi, and that would always forever be worshipped on the earth and would also be used for the worship of Lord Vishnu. And that's how they are very closely related. In all Indian households, particularly in ancient times, you would always have this Tulasi plant which would be there in the center. You can see various representations of that here, and it would be in the central courtyard of the house with all the rooms surrounding it. And there are many other delightful tales of Tulasi, and I will take you through a few of them. Tulasi is also reputed to have emerged in the form of goddess Lakshmi when the ocean was churned by the gods and the demons, and that's what you see represented here. And Vrinda, which was the original name of Tulasi, is also connected with Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna was there, and here you see beautiful depictions of various aspects of Lord Krishna's life, including the Rasa Leela here, where again Tulasi malas and garlands played a very prominent role. Tulasi is also in another beautiful story of Lord Krishna. Here you would see that once Lord Krishna was actually playing with Rukmini, his wife, and when Satyabhama, his second wife, saw Krishna with Rukmini, she was very jealous, and she actually said that she would sell Krishna to Narada and then buy him back with all the wealth that she had. And so Narada agreed, and here you see Satyabhama trying to sell Krishna, and this is called the Tulabara, where she's trying to weigh Krishna against all the gold that she had, and to her dismay, she found that it still proved to be inadequate. And then along came Rukmini, and with a single leaf of Tulasi, she actually made the scales even and demonstrated that the devotion and humility that Tulasi represents was adequate to win over the Lord. And then, of course, Lord Krishna then lived happily ever after with Rukmini and Satyabhama. The same power of Tulasi is also represented in the story of Sudama, who was a childhood friend of Lord Krishna, and he came to meet Lord Krishna many years after they had both studied in school together, and he came only with a very modest offering, which was a handful of dried rice, on top of which he placed a Tulasi leaf, and just by virtue of that Tulasi leaf, the offering was transformed into something divine, and Lord Krishna accepted it with relish. And here you see how Lord Krishna is then reciprocating by making various offerings of wealth and other such things to Sudama. So even today in modern day life, Tulasi plays a very prominent role in many aspects of our life. So here you see in Pandharpur in Maharashtra, where Panduranga is worshipped, there the devotees actually carry small Tulasi plants and they offer them to the Lord, and all of them also wear Tulasi garlands, which you can see here. And in Pandharpur, and as is customary in many other places also, during the Kartika month, there is a very grand Tulasi Vivaha, which is the wedding of Tulasi done with Lord Vishnu, which is celebrated with a lot of pomp and ceremony. Tulasi is known for many properties. We've talked of some of the spiritual aspects of Tulasi here. Now let's look at that Tulasi is also very well known because of the medicinal oils that it secretes for the utilization in various forms for all kinds of ailments. So Tulasi is used for stress relief, for fever, for immunity, asthma, kidney health, cold, and so on and so forth. And all these have found expression in different Ayurvedic medicines over time. And so that's how Tulasi has both a spiritual side to it, as represented in all these tales that we've talked of, and it also has a medicinal side to it, which is what we have shown here. Many of us are also very familiar with the Ganesh Puja, which we all do with a lot of affection every year. And there's an interesting story of Tulasi and Ganesha. Ganesha was once meditating on the banks of the river Ganga, and Tulasi happened to see him, and she was very fascinated by him and fell in love with him and wanted to marry him. But when she proposed to Ganesha, he said that he's fully concentrating on his meditation and that he would not like to marry at that point in time. And Tulasi was quite angry with this, and she cursed Ganesha and said that he would have to marry one day. And he in turn cursed her, saying that she would have to marry not once but twice, once to a demon and subsequently to Lord Vishnu, which is the Tulasi Vivaha. He also went on to add that in the Ganesh Puja, the Tulasi plant otherwise should not be used. And there is a similar variation of the same story with Hanuman also, where Tulasi, little realizing that Hanuman is a celibate, actually wanted to marry him, went and asked if she could marry him, and Hanuman refused politely, explained why he was permanently wedded only to the devotion to Lord Rama, and how at the same time he also was extremely pleased with the kind of devotion that Tulasi had. So there are many such stories relating to Tulasi, and we have depicted them in various forms here. So I hope that you have enjoyed this brief narration as much as we have enjoyed putting the whole Bommala Koluvu together. Happy Navaratra and very happy Dashara to all of you, and once again seeking the blessings of the Divine Goddess. Thank you.